It's an age-old question. What is Jim Dolan doing? What are the Knicks doing? It's Onorato and Miller. It's Chris. It's Ash. The Knicks, as you know by now, have fired their head coach, Tom Thibodeau. What is the plan? What is the real... I mean, I can't believe, Ash, and we'll get into it here, that all of this is because Tibbs wasn't playing enough guys. Yeah. That is something that you can say to, hey, you've got to play more guys. We have depth on this team. You've got to play more guys.
You can fix that right from the get-go.
So that one, you texted me, I can't, how do you fire? Got the Knicks to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years. We'll talk about why Tom Thibodeau is gone from the New York Knicks and what the prospects are for the Knicks getting over that Eastern Conference hump and maybe back into the NBA Finals. The Belmont is back at Saratoga. We got a fun little compilation of our morning show guests that we'll bring you here to get you ready for Belmont on Saturday, the actual Belmont Stakes, not just the racing festival. We're doing the show live on a Wednesday night, and Gin Blossoms will be playing Broadway.
Onorato, Miller, and Erla.
Onorato, Miller, and Erla. Yeah.
Caitlin Erla makes her, is this a debut for her?
The old OMI.
Yeah.
Let's get going.
This is Onorato and Miller, sponsored by Alpen House.
Had a fun day up at Saratoga Racecourse this morning and the afternoon. You wouldn't believe how many times in the noon I said
this morning.
Yeah,
I bet.
And I just couldn't get my brain past the fact that it was actually afternoon. Mm-hmm. All right, before we do any of the Belmont stuff here, the question here, well, let me
roll the tape. Would you please? We're not rolling the tape.
And now, Dirty, Difficult, and Done. Sponsored by Performance Industrial.
Bill Miller, his great team at Performance Industrial, where there's never a job that's too dirty or too difficult for them to get it done. The question is, did the Knicks do Tom Thibodeau dirty?
Of course they did.
Okay.
They did him as dirty as you can do someone. How ridiculous. My dad texted me 5 seconds later. I texted you. What do you want? Like, it's such instant gratification. Like, oh, he didn't get you to the finals. It's not enough. He didn't win you a title. Okay, but they're getting better. Now you fire them. And I got news for you. They're not going to get any better than they already are unless they make trades. And I don't think they have any real capital to make trades. So...
But maybe the thought is we have good enough players and they weren't playing. I'm just playing the other side here for you. I don't know that Miles McBride all of a sudden makes, the Knicks a title contender if he's getting more minutes, or like Landry Shamet. All of a sudden now he's going to get a lot of Shamet struggled to crack other lineups around this league. It's not just a Knicks problem and him being on the bench there. So I'm with you. I would not have fired Tibbs. I would not have even made a drastic change to this roster. I would have run it back. Jason Tatum is going to miss all of next year. Mm-hmm. The window is open here. And yes, Indiana is good and young in the right areas, but Cleveland is good. But show me the team with Tatum injured that really worries you in the East. It's not there. Right. The Knicks could have run this back and I think been Eastern Conference championship contenders. I'm not saying that they could win it all. Now it's like, and I say this to you, I said it to you, say it to everybody, if you're going to fire your coach after a successful season, after you've won a lot of games, you better have somebody in mind. It can't just be like, we're unhappy with the job that was done, fire them. Okay, guys, let's get together and figure this thing out. There better have been conversations happening behind Tibbs' back to try to get the right person in here.
Yeah, I just think it's always so interesting to me when you go through a season and there hasn't been a spotlight on that locker room. There haven't been like public problems that you know of. Stuff doesn't come out that there are issues with guys talking about the coach and problems with playing time. Like, that wasn't stuff we heard all season long. So that feels like the reason it's so surprising. I understand that if that goes on all season long and you still get to the Eastern Conference Finals and then you lose, okay, fine, we're done. Like, it's just not going to work. But it doesn't seem like that was the case.
Right, like there are reports now that Tibbs may have said something that bothered players, but they figure we're going to push on to the end of the season. But then I also read reports that, well, this isn't a player's decision. Clearly, James Dolan is. So I don't.
But the players run the league, so if
Ash.
something was said, then
Yes.
obviously
Yes.
that's what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, here's the deal. The Knicks, you have to run it back. And like you said, maybe you have as good a chance of ever to run it back. 1 first-round pick in the next 7 years. You're not going to get better through the draft, at least not significantly better. And you don't even feel like your bench players are guys necessarily that contribute meaningful minutes to this particular team. So do you go get better bench players? I guess, but you need your guys on the floor. You need Karl Anthony Towns on the floor.
Brunson.
You need Jalen Brunson on the floor. You need Mikal Bridges on the floor to be effective, and they give you the best chance to win. And maybe, yes, maybe Landry Shamet is a guy who gets more play. We just saw him come in and hit a couple threes late, and you're like, oh, maybe that guy should have been a guy who gets more minutes. Prisoner of the moment. But this is not a team that's going to get significantly better in the next decade.
Well, what will happen is we will unendingly tie Giannis Antetokounmpo's name to the New York Knicks, but we will also tie Giannis's name to every other team this offseason. And, you know, I don't, to your point, like
You're
the
gonna
Knicks
trade
would,
for him?
the Knicks would have to, they'd have to move Karl Anthony Towns. They'd have to get a third team involved in order to get Giannis to New York. Bringing Durant to the Knicks does not help you enough, in my opinion. Again, you have to give up to get in their situation.
I just think like Karl Anthony Towns isn't enough. If you're talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo, those two things are not the same.
No, that's why you get the third team involved for picks and things like that. Yeah, listen.
But I don't think the Knicks have enough to give up, period, to get a guy like Giannis. And then what do you have left?
Saw Kevin Hammond at the track today.
Of course. Kev, is he spending all 5 days?
Of course.
Yeah.
It wasn't race 1, but his wife, Carrie, who seems to have incredible luck other than the man she married.
Oh, Kev. That wasn't nice.
Hit big time. Hit big time on a $5 win and a $1 exacta.
Dang.
Because like a 52-1 shot came in.
Oh, that's awesome. Good for her.
So they have started
Good for her.
They have started
hot.
the meet correctly. Yeah, Kev could just see.
Were they going to Gym Blossoms?
That was up in the air because they would have a long day at the track.
Okay.
All right, so here are the NBA Finals now, and we've said this, that like the NBA needs the Knicks, and they don't get the Knicks. So we have the Thunder and the Pacers in the NBA Finals. Will you watch?
Probably not. I mean,
you will only watch if I decide to watch.
If you're watching, I'll watch. Yeah. But if you're in bed, I will not choose. I don't believe. Like, I'll choose softball over this. I know it's only a couple more days of softball, but I'll probably choose Yankees Red Sox over this. I will choose Criminal Minds over this. Like, there are certainly things that I will always say, like serial killer shows. I'll choose them every time, pretty much.
I will watch. Like Saturday we get the Belmont Stakes, and then no, it goes Thursday, Sunday, so we don't even get game 2 until Sunday in this series. So I will watch when my bedtime allows. How's that?
Tomorrow night might be.
It's an 8:30 tip. I'm not going to stay up late and lose sleep over this series.
Sure. I mean, tomorrow we might be awake anyway. But
yeah. So if my bedtime allows and I'm not getting up at 2 a.m. the next day, then yes, I will watch, because I'm interested in a lot of what this series has. And I think Indy can make this a little bit of a series, and that would mean getting it to 6 games. I think they're capable of doing that. But OKC ultimately has been the best team all year. They've shown nothing in this postseason to suggest that won't continue. So give me OKC to win, but give me Indy. I mean,
look at that. I just looked at that.
Minus 700 to win the series.
Crazy.
Plus 500 on the Pacers side. The largest favorite ever. Yeah, might as well, right? The largest favorite ever in NBA Finals history to simply win the series. I believe the Lakers back when they had Shaq and Kobe in a series. But the 2018 Warriors were heavy favorites. That was a Kevin Durant year with Steph and company. But minus 700 is historically low or high.
Yeah.
However you want to look at it. I know. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a break here on Onorato and Miller. When we come back, we're going to dive into the Belmont at Saratoga discussion.
Caitlin Erla.
And we will give you some of the best of what we had to offer on News Channel 13 today. That's the morning show live from Saratoga. We're back in a minute, everyone.
Grab the family and get on the water in style with a Barletta pontoon featuring the power of a Mercury outboard motor. You'll be slicing through the waves with a smoother, quieter ride, leaving you to relax and soak up the sun. Whether you're cruising with a family or tubing and skiing, Barletta and Mercury will give you the best ride on the lake. With their unmatched reliability and refined performance, Barletta and Mercury won't let anything hold you back from having a summer you'll never forget. So don't wait. Stop by Alpenhaus Boats and start your next adventure today. Check out our great selection on Route 30 in Amsterdam and online at alpenhausboats.com.
I'm Jeff Ukelek. I'm owner of Bevs, and we're a beverage center in upstate New York. You're just going to have that wow component when you come in, like, wow, look at this place. It's bright, it's clean, it has everything that I need. Consumer is king. Be able to provide them a friendly environment and a place to shop, no matter where they are, whether they're down here in Saratoga or whether they're up in Queensbury. You're always going to get the same experience when you shop at Bevs. At the end of the day, if you walk in these stores, you're going to see a lot of people that have a lot of pride.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Year 2 of the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga Racecourse, and it was 4 days of racing last year. It's 5 days.
I got confused.
Of racing this year. Well,
I knew you would be at the track anyway today because it's like the first day before the first day. It was Gin Blossoms, it's whatever, but I had no idea that we were actually racing today.
Day of racing. It's
Clearly, I watch a lot of news.
Well, that's okay. But we've got 2 of the best 3-year-olds, of course, in the country in this race. The Derby winner in Sovereignty, the Preakness winner in Journalism. Chad Brown has a horse in Hill Road. Bob Baffert has a horse in Rodriguez. Todd Pletcher has a couple of horses here. This is a nice little race. And Baeza is a horse that finished 3rd in the Derby.
Got entered late, right?
And a lot of people think, hey, that might be the one at 1.25 miles with some speed to win this thing. So it's a very interesting race. I'm interested to really watch it with, some
I
attention.
like when they're at least like it's a little bit of a smaller field so I can have a chance to know who's who.
Well, the 20 in the Derby is wild, right?
I have no idea. I don't know how people watch and really know what's happening when those are going on.
We talked with Bob Baffert this morning, again, live on a Wednesday night here. Talked with Baffert this morning, and he couldn't say enough good things about journalism. Just feels without question, journalism is probably the class of this 3-year-old division.
Okay.
We'll see. And we saw speed go pretty much wire to wire last year. Dornock, I think he led out of the gate and won the thing. So again, that difference of 1.25 miles, jockeys and trainers probably feel like, okay, we can push it a little bit and maybe just try to go wire to wire instead of sit off the pace. And then we've got 1.5 miles and a little bit of opportunity to make up some ground. Right. So
distance makes a difference.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We will see what happens Saturday. 7:04 post time.
Okay.
How about that?
We will be locked in, as they say.
Yeah, for sure. I think I would, journalism is such a heavy favorite that I don't want to simply say, let me throw some money on journalism at 8 to 5.
I was saying not going to get you anything anyway.
Got to find a horse to box trifecta with journalism.
Pull a Kerry Hammond.
Won't find any 52-1 shots in this field, but we'll see what happens. All right, we're going to take a break here on Onorato and Miller. When we come back, we're going to take you through some of the best of the best, if you will, when it comes to our coverage live from Saratoga Racecourse ahead of this Belmont Racing Festival, which started on a Wednesday and continues all the way through a Sunday. So we are back right after this on Onorato and Miller.
I'm Jeff Ukelek. I'm owner of Bevs, and we're a beverage center in upstate New York. You're just going to have that wow component when you come in, like, wow, look at this place. It's bright, it's clean, it has everything that I need. Consumer is king. Be able to provide them a friendly environment and a place to shop, no matter where they are, whether they're down here in Saratoga or whether they're up in Queensbury. You're always going to get the same experience when you shop at Bevs. At the end of the day, if you walk in these stores, you're going to see a lot of people that have a lot of pride.
Using the highest quality materials, artisanal craftsmanship, and creative design, we're ready to help bring the vacation experience to your own home. With custom-designed Legacy Edition pools, we're confident we can turn your backyard into your own personal oasis. And we'll be by your side through the whole process. Get outside this summer with Alpenhaus. Be sure to visit our 16,000 square foot showroom expansion on Route 30 in Amsterdam. Alpenhaus Pools and Hot Tubs, Amsterdam and Clifton Park.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
We are now joined by jockey Dylan Davis, who's been kind enough to join us on today. It's 4 mounts today, so I know the early wake-up call is normal for a lot of jockeys out there, but you've got a busy day, so thank you for taking the time.
Yep.
Second year of the Belmont Racing Festival here, Dylan, and you grew up at this race course. Does it just kind of feel like, okay, people are now getting to know Saratoga the way you've known it?
Of course, yeah. It's great to be here. It's a unique experience just for the limited time that we're here. But it's always a special time to be here, especially being a hometown boy over here and just enjoying every day of it and the exciting thrills with all the people coming up to town.
You know your mounts take more money because you're a local guy. You know that, right?
Yeah, well, I like that. I'll do my best for everybody that puts their money on me and just always do my best out there and love the horse racing.
I know you don't have a mount in the Belmont on Saturday, but you know this track as well as anyone. What does it take to win?
Yeah, it's a very good question. You know, we're going a mile and a quarter. But this is a small field. But my pick is going to be Baeza. I think he's set up really nice. The way he closed really hard into the Kentucky Derby. He was third there, so I think that he's going to have a real good time over here on this track, and it's set up well for him.
And Matthew DeSantis from Naira Bets last hour said, and the way he mentioned Baeza, I could think that might be a lean for him as well. What makes Saratoga special? If people are watching this as they wake up early on a Wednesday, and they've never been here before, but they're coming to the races for the first time, what would you tell them?
No, it's just you're going to have a great time. It's very historic, one-of-a-kind place in the country. You're going to want to come back for sure. The people really make it a fantastic experience. So if you've never seen horse racing before, it's going to be a great time for you, and you're never going to forget what you experienced that day.
Yeah, it's so awesome we get to showcase this great place to people from all over once again, second year here at the Spa City.
And when you come back home, are there some favorite spots you like to hit up? Do you have a checklist?
Well, I used to work at Chianti's restaurant. I like to go over there. You have some good memories when I was a kid and drive by the Saratoga High School. It's always nice. And I used to play golf, or I still do, at the SPAC course. So I'll take that par 3 and see how I do. Not so well now because I've been racing a lot. So just enjoying my time around the town and before I have to head back down to Long Island.
Great Penela vodka at Chianti, that's for sure. Dylan, you can. I have too much of it for sure. 4 mounts today, and can't wait to see you in action back here at home. Dylan, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Get ready for the thrill of a lifetime with Tracker fishing boats, available at Alpenhaus. Feel the rush as you reel in your trophy catch, supported by Tracker's unmatched stability. Prepare to conquer any challenge with cutting-edge tech at your fingertips and the freedom to explore without limits. Make waves this season and experience the ultimate fishing adventure with Tracker fishing boats at Alpenhaus. Your source for fun since 1964.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Coverage all day long here on News Channel 13, and now joined by one of the preeminent reporters and hosts in this sport, Acacia Clement, who of course works for Naira, but you'll be on the call with Fox Sports as well for this incredible Belmont Stakes.
early is nothing for you, but still, thank you for joining us.
Yes, no problem at all. Like I said, we have some workers I'll be watching, some horses training out on the track. I'm shooting a feature this morning as well, so a lot going on as we get ready to kick off Belmont Stakes week. It's really exciting. The energy is electric in the town, and we love getting a chance to have it at Saratoga once again.
And you now get to call this great city home for parts of the year anyway. Year 2 here for the Belmont Stakes. Is there anything that you think will be different this time around? Do trainers, jockeys have a better hold of what 1.25 miles means in a Triple Crown race?
I think the distance is, people are aware of what it is. Last year we saw on the main track here at Saratoga that horses with early speed were really favored, and that did include the eventual Belmont Stakes winner Dornick. So that's something to watch if maybe you're a handicapper throughout the week, and maybe horses that are forwardly placed are doing well. It's something that, if that's the case, could be a little bit of a challenge for Kentucky Derby winner Sovereignty. I don't anticipate that being the case again this year, but that is what we saw last year during Belmont Week. But just fingers crossed that Mother Nature is kind to us, because that will dictate a lot of it. But I think more than anything, just the NYRA team is aware of how many people we might expect and what some of the needs are for the fans and things like that. And I think it's going to be a tremendous fan experience.
Yeah, anything specifically that you're looking forward to this year, now being the second year here in the Spa City?
Well, I think I'm really just looking forward to seeing everybody embrace it. I think last year, it's hard. We're a sport that's been around for a long time, and people really don't like change very much. So they're, a little resistant to the idea of having the Belmont Stakes, typically the test of the champion, at Saratoga, and at 1.25 miles, where typically it's 1.5 miles for the final leg of the Triple Crown. So I think now that we saw what a success it could be last year, the quality of horses that were winning on that day, just the great experience that it was, I'm really excited for everybody to just enjoy it this year.
Right. NYRA knows how to do it. Saratoga knows how to do it all.
Yeah, and I would point out to those people worried about whether or not it's a true test of the champion. We call Saratoga Racecourse the graveyard of champions, so there may be no greater test than right here at Saratoga Racecourse. I know you were here on the grounds last year, obviously. We say capped at 50,000 people. I was here as well. I've never seen a crowd like that here.
I haven't either. Typically, the Travers in August is our busiest day, and Belmont Stakes last year felt busier than any Travers day I've experienced. Maybe it was just, the people on the rail and the excitement, but, as the horses went by, it was like waves of cheers on the sidelines, which was really cool. And that's one of the best things about Saratoga that I think you don't get at other racetracks, is that the town, the people here are aware of what's going on the racetrack. A lot of people really embrace it as well, and it's part of the whole experience. You're not just coming for Saratoga Racecourse, you're coming for downtown, the people here, the restaurants, the businesses, and that's all part of it.
You, of course, married to Miguel Clement, and everybody who is in and around this sport of horse racing, our hearts, our prayers are with you and your family.
Absolutely.
The loss of Christoph, gone way too soon. Such an incredible trainer, 59 years old, losing a battle with cancer that he kept so private from people, really. And I think that speaks maybe to his pride that he has. And I texted you. I always enjoyed being around him. He was always so warm and welcoming, and he will be so deeply missed in this sport. And so our condolences to all of you in that family. What did you learn from him, being around him as much as you were?
Oh, we'd be here for a while. But I'm incredibly thankful. Some people aren't as lucky with their in-laws, and I was incredibly fortunate that we had such a tight-knit family, and Christoph always made me feel like I was one of his children as well. Me and my brother-in-law the same. And I'm incredibly grateful to have had him in my life, not just what I learned from him in racing. Any question I ever had, he would say to me, even if I didn't really like one of his horses in the paddock, he would say, Keisha, you should always have an opinion, and you should stick to your opinion. And he really taught me to trust my gut on a lot of things. And, if he thought that there was something that I could improve on, he would tell me, which I appreciate as well. And, there was a young trainer, Will Walden, who had shared a story the other day as well. And he said, I was here last summer in Saratoga, and Christoph walked by my barn and thought I was doing something wrong. And he stopped and he told me, and he suggested trying something a different way. He was a guy that really, really cared about the young people in this sport. And I think, yes, his legacy as a horseman and his accomplishments on the track are important, but to me, his greatest legacy is what he invested in the young people, in giving them an opportunity. Always at his house, he had invited anybody that was maybe here from Europe or here from another state, working for the summer, invited them over, made sure that they felt welcome, and made sure that they knew they had a chance.
Well, can't wait
Really
to see what that
special.
barn continues to do. Acacia, thank you so much. Acacia Clement from NYRA and, of course, Fox Sports as well. We'll see you throughout the meet, I know.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm Jeff Ukelek. I'm owner of Bevs, and we're a beverage center in upstate New York. You're just going to have that wow component when you come in, like, wow, look at this place. It's bright, it's clean, it has everything that I need. Consumer is king. Be able to provide them a friendly environment and a place to shop, no matter where they are, whether they're down here in Saratoga or whether they're up in Queensbury. You're always going to get the same experience when you shop at Bevs. At the end of the day, if you walk in these stores, you're going to see a lot of people that have a lot of pride.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alphen House.
Joining us now are Tom Bellhouse, Executive Vice President of West Point Thoroughbreds, and Griffin Johnson, part owner of Sandman, who ran in the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness. Guys, thanks so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having us. Opening day at the spa for Belmont Stakes. We got to get our verbiage right.
I know.
We'll have 3 of these, Tommy. Pace yourself.
I'm chomping at the bit, Chris.
I can tell. Back for July 4th, and then obviously the traditional start of the meet. Tom, West Point Thoroughbreds is a name, it's a brand that so many people in this area know so well, based on success, of course, but also because you are based here.
Yeah, I mean, Saratoga's been our base of operations probably for the last 15 years. You know, Saratoga plays a huge part in our company. You know, even though we started East Coast based, Saratoga every year, when we were a much smaller company, this was a chance to show our wares and put our name on display. And it's, you know, we haven't forgot our roots. I mean, Lindsay Human, our CFO, myself, we all live here in Saratoga year round, and the company obviously has grown where we race in Kentucky, all over the East Coast, California, but Saratoga's home, and we're thrilled to be here.
And now you got a guy with one of the biggest social media followings on the planet here.
Turns out when he says, you know, somebody says to you, I know a guy, it turns out he knows everybody.
Griffin Johnson, who of course is so big on TikTok and Instagram, Griffin, but I heard in your interview with NBC ahead of the Kentucky Derby, you're like, they call me a social media influencer. I guess I'll embrace that, which you are, but now part owner of Sandman. What made you want to get involved with this sport?
Well, you know, I say this, I wasn't really looking necessarily to get into a racehorse, but they showed me Sandman. I had a friend of a friend, and they're like, hey, we have this beautiful horse. We'd love for you to market the sport. And once I saw him, I was like, okay, I'm in. You know, he kind of has the look. He's obviously very beautiful. And luckily he backed it up with some talent, which really set it off.
What I love is that obviously you're young and you're kind of getting like the younger generation into horse racing, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, I think with the horse racing world, right, it's been historically, it's one of the oldest sports in the entire world. It's the king sport, and I think that Gen Z hasn't really got a good taste of it, right? So this is the first time, you know, Sandman makes it easy for me. But yeah, I want to see grandparents taking their grandkids to the track. I want to see parents taking their parents, and maybe even vice versa. So
just like when we were young, we remember going, right?
Exactly, yes.
Because of your following, people are going to pay attention anyway, Griffin. But what kind of techniques or strategies are you using to really engage Gen Z, like you said, in terms of taking notice of the sport? They always say bet the gray, which is smart on Sandman, but really, what are you doing that's maybe different that is drawing in that interest?
Yeah, I think as much content as there is in the world, you know, everyone can post for free, right? It really comes down to authenticity, and I think that's what separates someone from being a creator and being an actual influencer. You know, working with people like West Point, working with people like Mark Cassie, and all just across the board, from the grooms all the way to, you know, to everyone that's financed and put in the money for Sandman. Everyone's been a joy, and kind of, you know, just showing that off. It takes the whole village. So that's really the bread and butter, is giving everyone a real experience.
Tom, no Sandman on Saturday, but pointed towards maybe the Jim Dandy, and then of course we would all assume the Travers, because Dandy is that traditional prep race. How's he And how's he feeling?
Well, he's come out of the race in remarkably good shape considering the campaign he's had. You know, to have 5 races like that, and to start as a 2-year-old in June and then break his maiden here in Saratoga. He never really got a break. We backed off a little, and Mark had an incredible program and took us on an amazing ride. But it was, you know, running in the Preakness was a huge step, and he didn't let us down. He gave us an incredible effort. Perfect. To give him that little blow. If we're going to really be running in races like the Travers, Jim Dandy Travers, maybe Breeders' Cup, you gotta somewhere let your foot off the gas a little. And Mark has just been masterful at that. And you know, Griffin talks about some of the impact. You know, you look at, you know, West Point. We've always prided ourselves on transparency, and he brings a level of transparency to the whole world with horse racing and with ownership. And you know, it's an opportunity. I've been in the game now full time for almost 20 years, and all the time we're saying, well, how do we get the new level of fans? Like, you know, I went with my uncle and my neighbor, and how do you get that? And he's provided that in a way that far exceeded anyone's expectations.
What do you think of Saratoga?
Oh, I love it here. So I went to Travers last year. Obviously got a beautiful weather day. It was amazing. I don't know if we're going to get that this year. Well, we can go back to the meteorologist, but it's just a beautiful spot. It really is. The energy here, the picnic outside with the racing in, I mean, it kind of gives everyone a mix of whatever you want based on what your appetite is. So this is just a special spot. It really is.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on for cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair. You can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpin House.
We're here for day 1 of the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival. So much excitement. Joining us now is John Rogan, the general manager of Saratoga Eagle.
Caitlin, Chris, thank you so much. I'm honored and privileged to be here with you guys today. So, do you guys feel the energy here?
Yes.
I'll tell you, I'm sweating. I'm feeling so much energy.
Well, wait till tomorrow.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. It's just I'm not used to being in front of the camera, but
well, the boss man skipped town, but we're happy to have you. And if you're looking for a Saratoga Eagle product, you've got Bud Light, you have Michelob Ultra, Neutral here on the grounds as well. If you haven't tried the Good Boy yet from John Daly, excellent.
Oh my God!
But because we're at the Michelob Ultra stretch,
yes,
we want to say thank you for being such gracious hosts.
Yeah.
Well, we're honored to be here, and with our flagship brand Michelob Ultra. That's why, we named it the Stretch. It's a lifestyle brand, and look about where we are. That's what the Saratoga track is all about. It's a lifestyle, and we're proud to have our products here in order that we can engage and have some fun with the consumers.
Yeah, you're a big part of this. Keeping everyone hydrated. It must feel good to see them walking around, especially on a hot day, drinking those drinks.
Well, if you can help us with the weather this weekend, we need a little bit more hot days, drier days, and we'll certainly keep people hydrated. I can guarantee you that.
You're looking at the Taste New York tent there as well. So many
Neutral.
of the local breweries that are on hand with tastings of their product as well, that I know you rep them as well, John.
Yeah, and then, flagging out, we see the Taste in New York. We got a lot of our local crafts here. You'll see Frog Alley from Schenectady, Speckled Pig from Boston Spa, Paradox from up north. So we got a great lineup here. And again, it's just an honor to be here, and we're so excited for this summer, and we wish everyone success.
Why be such a prominent part of what happens here at Saratoga Racecourse? You've been part of that for a number of years now, Belmont last year as well, and now year 2. To what success have you found, hey, this makes sense for us?
Oh, my God. Well, this is the crown jewel of Saratoga, and you get people from everywhere, not just the capital region. And it's an opportunity for us to take our brands and to showcase them amongst everyone and give people a chance to embrace our brands and make sure they're part of every occasion they have. So, again, we just want to be part of it. It's great for the community. It's great for the state. It's great for a business. So, that's why when you talk about staying hydrated, whether it's alcohol or non-alcohol, we've got products here. So I forgot to mention Michelob NA beer is here too. So for those of you that want to cut back on alcohol, that's the brand that I'm grabbing.
All right, that's great.
Well, have a great meet. I know you'll be here throughout, including Saturday, so continued success with all the brands, obviously, but even more importantly, have fun.
I will. Thank you so much, guys.
I'm Jeff Ukelek. I'm owner of Bevs, and we're a beverage center in upstate New York. You're just going to have that wow component when you come in, like, wow, look at this place. It's bright, it's clean, it has everything that I need. Consumer is king. Be able to provide them a friendly environment and a place to shop, no matter where they are, whether they're down here in Saratoga or whether they're up in Queensbury. You're always going to get the same experience when you shop at Bevs. At the end of the day, if you walk in thyour stores, you're going to see a lot of people that have a lot of pride.
The great thing about novices, no matter who you are, they're going to put all the detail in the world into your brand. I feel like they have been a big part of my success, making me feel comfortable.
This is Harrison Butker, Super Bowl champion kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Claim your crown.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alphen House.
Belmont is back at Saratoga. Now, look, every day of my life, I could live in a navy blue suit. Yeah. But, Mark, we know it isn't every day you get a Triple Crown race in Saratoga.
No, you always look good. You're always dressed for a Triple Crown race. Yeah, right. and now I'm getting to finding out the secret of how you dress so well. I'm learning here today. And it is important to dress well at a Triple Crown race at Saratoga.
I walked in earlier. Justin said, "That suit looks good. Is it one of mine?" I said, "Of course it is." Let's go meet the owner of Mr. Formal Wear.
You need your own line. Justin Willock, the owner of Mr. Formal Wear. How long have you been in business?
So right now we've been in business for 14 years.
And you're native to the area, so you've been watching the trends at Saratoga Racecourse for a long time.
Absolutely. Grew up here, went to high school here, college at Siena, so we've been around the races my whole entire life. The bright colors were huge last year, so we started seeing a little bit more of a dress up compared to your normal like Travers look, you know, wearing something that you wouldn't normally wear.
The classics endure. But every single year, style changes a little bit.
Yeah.
What are people going to be wearing this year?
Still going to do the sport coat look, but now this year we started seeing more like different shoes, like sneaker shoes, you know, linen button-down shirts. It's the Triple Crown race. It's a good time to dress up, and it's a way to kind of go all out.
I want to take a look at some things here.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll start bottom up. Something that is, you know, dressy enough to wear with like a pair of shorts or a pair of pants, but comfortable enough to kind of last all day walking around the track. Under $100, $99. You know, for something like this.
You know I always come to this wall.
Oh, yeah.
The wall of blazers here.
The wall of blazers.
With a little style.
You got your blues, your pinks, your greens, your linen coats.
Everybody now dresses like, even if they aren't playing golf, they're dressing like they're playing golf. There's your look right there. Did you just come off the golf course? No. Oh, okay. But it's comfortable, right? It's casual, it breathes, all of that stuff.
And you have your performance stretch, so everyone's a big fan of the stretch now.
The guy's wearing shorts and a sport coat. Is that acceptable or not? Have you seen it as well?
Oh, yeah.
I always tell people I'm always here to direct you in the right direction, and I would direct you not to do that. Pocket square, tie bars, socks, ties, things like that. All those little accessories that you want to add on is a nice little touch, especially for an event like this. If you're doing the loafer look, no socks or no show socks. Yeah. But obviously with the sneaker look, you're going to put on some socks. Maybe you want to wear some like fun, fancy socks. Bright colors. Hopefully everyone's nice and tan, you know, because you got those.
Impossible for me, and I still always go no sock. Exactly. Yeah. I have that white blazer, blue floral pattern from last year. If somebody wants to stand out and be the only person at the track wearing this, what direction would you point them in?
I would say you're going to have to come in and stop by and see it, because we got a bunch of different things here for you.
All right, Mark. I think we're ready now. No excuses. Mr. Formal Wear is clearly the place to go before you hit Saratoga Racecourse.
Yeah, no excuses is right. In fact, I couldn't leave here today without picking something up that...
Welcome to my life.
Yeah, exactly. Great place.
Hey, appreciate it, guys. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. Absolutely. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Using the highest quality materials, artisanal craftsmanship, and creative design, we're ready to help bring the vacation experience to your own home. With custom-designed Legacy Edition pools, we're confident we can turn your backyard into your own personal oasis. And we'll be by your side through the whole process. Get outside this summer with Alphen House. Be sure to visit our 16,000 square foot showroom expansion on Route 30 in Amsterdam. Alphen House Pools and Hot Tubs, Amsterdam and Clifton Park.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpin House.
All right, back on Onorato and Miller, and that was fun
Yeah.
to go full into the Belmont Stakes here at Saratoga.
I caught up on all
Racecourse.
my Belmont coverage.
Right. If you missed anything, there it was in 24 minutes or
No
whatever
doubt.
it was.
That was very helpful.
All right, the Albany Patroons still in the playoffs. They knocked out the New York Phoenix crosstown
That had
rival.
to feel good.
I'm sure it did.
That had to feel good. Well, you know it. You know the answer.
We're going to talk with the head coach of the Patroons, Derrick Rowland, as that postseason run continues. That's next right here on Onorato and Miller.
I'm Jeff Ukelek. I'm owner of Bevs, and we're a beverage center in upstate New York. You're just going to have that wow component when you come in, like, wow, look at this place. It's bright, it's clean, it has everything that I need. Consumer is king. Be able to provide them a friendly environment and a place to shop, no matter where they are, whether they're down here in Saratoga or whether they're up in Queensbury. You're always going to get the same experience when you shop at Bevs. At the end of the day, if you walk in these stores, you're going to see a lot of people that have a lot of pride.
The great thing about novices, no matter who you are, they're going to put all the detail in the world into your brand. I feel like they have been a big part of my success, making me feel comfortable.
This is Harrison Butker, Super Bowl champion kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Claim your crown.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpin House.
Man, that was so good for basketball in the Capital Region to get the Patroons against the Phoenix in the Basketball League playoffs. And Derrick Rowland just does what he does. Finds ways to win, even in that winner-take-all game against the New York Phoenix. I guess just good for basketball in the area. We were pumped for just the regular season meetings, and then to get a playoff bonus out of it, pretty cool. The season continues on in the playoffs for the Patroons, and we've got the head coach here on Onorato and Miller, the head coach, Derrick Rowland. Coach, it's always good to be with you, man. Congratulations on winning that series. How did it feel?
Hey, it felt great. You know, it was a big game for us and for them. Bragging rights over the summer. So we took care of business. They were a tough team, very talented, and it took all we had to get by those guys. So we're happy to do that.
What did you say to Travis Weiss after you beat him?
Well, I just congratulated him on his rookie season. You know, he's a young guy just getting started out, so he has a lot of miles to travel as a coach. Just wished him well and told him if there's anything for me to help him with.
All right. When we talked before the season, you said kind of a long road in this league, and you don't know how the roster is going to develop. Guys maybe finishing their pro career somewhere else. They come in. Are you happy with where you are now?
Yes. You know, we lost Prashant Burrell, which was well, we were happy for him because he got an opportunity to go play and earn some more money for his family. You know, but yes, I'm very happy with where we are right now. You know, we've kind of stuck to the same roster for the most part, brought in some new additions, probably the last 10 games of the season or so, and which they've turned out to be great help for us. So yeah, I'm happy with where we are now. You know, we just got to get this next one, and I'll be a little happier.
How do you feel about the matchup?
Good. You know, anything can happen. You know, we've never played them. We watch a little film on them. They're a gritty team. They play, tough scrambling defense. So we feel good about it, and looking forward to it.
Does it matter what the other team does at this point for you, or are you just worried about your squad?
Well, it matters. We like to go over their tendencies and what they do, and are they a transition team? Are they better in the half court? How they defend and all those kind of things. It matters, but most importantly, we have to check all the boxes that we want to check. Defensive transition defense, moving the ball on offense, and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's two ways. Yep.
And not to give the scouting away here, but if you're going to win, it's because who or what group of guys plays well?
Well, in the playoffs, your core guys got to play well. I don't care what you do. If your top guys aren't playing well, it's very difficult to win. But, we hang our hat on defense, We know that if we play good, solid defense on both, transition and half court, we got a great chance to win. So We hang our hat on defense because defense travels. Offense, it's 50-50 sometimes, but defensive side of the ball is pretty consistent, and that's what we're looking to accomplish.
And I want to let people know there's a watch party happening as well at the Albany Armory Lounge. Cash bar, 6 o'clock. Be there for this game. Kickoff June 8th is at 3 o'clock for these Patroons. Are you watching the NBA playoffs at all, Coach?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Good friend of mine, Rick Carlisle, is in the finals. That's great to see. The Knicks and the Pacers, I was kind of mixed with that because, I've known Rick and he's a friend of mine, and I'm from New York with the Knicks. So I guess the best team prevailed. So I'm happy with that.
Why are Carlisle's teams so good?
Well, he's a basketball genius, you could say. The stuff that he does on the court and his adjustments and all these kind of things. As a coach, I really respect and appreciate what he does. He's been doing this a long time. He and I go way back to my Potsdam days, where he lived in Canton and I went to school in Potsdam, so we had a chance to become friends and work out a lot together. Played the Empire State games together, and he also was a member of the Albany Patroons. So we have a lot of history together. And I've been watching him his whole career, so I'm not surprised at anything he's doing right now.
Well, you're going deep into the postseason just the way Coach Carlisle is. Good luck, Coach. Obviously, congrats on the success so far, but I know you're not done.
Well, we hope not, man. We just got to get at it, and go down there and get game one. Game one is the key because if you win game one, all the pressure is on the other team. So I think that if we can go down there and get a win, it'll put us in a pretty good position.
Life is about making memories. It's about sharing special moments with those we love and cherishing those moments forever. So whether you're gathering the family around a new patio set or grilling a meal they'll never forget, we can help you design a space that is as beautiful and as special as the memories you create. Visit Alpenhaus on Route 30 in Amsterdam and Clifton Park Center, and let us handle the heavy lifting. Take advantage of free local delivery and we'll haul away your old grill or patio furniture.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on for cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair. You can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
All right, thanks to Derrick Rowland for hanging out a little bit here ahead of the Patroons' next run through the Basketball League playoffs. Concert in the Catskills is coming to where else? The Catskills. Our guy Jimmy Miller setting that up. Rodney Atkins and our next guest on Onorato and Miller, Kylie Morgan.
I'm Jeff Ukelek. I'm owner of Bevs, and we're a beverage center in upstate New York. You're just going to have that wow component when you come in, like, wow, look at this place. It's bright, it's clean, it has everything that I need. Consumer is king. Be able to provide them a friendly environment and a place to shop, no matter where they are, whether they're down here in Saratoga or whether they're up in Queensbury. You're always going to get the same experience when you shop at Bevs. At the end of the day, if you walk in your stores, you're going to see a lot of people that have a lot of pride.
The great thing about Novices, no matter who you are, they're going to put all the detail in the world into your brand. I feel like they have been a big part of my success, making me feel comfortable.
This is Harrison Butker, Super Bowl champion kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Claim your crown.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Back on Onorato and Miller and coming to the Catskills. Concert in the Catskills. Kylie Morgan, country music superstar, with us here on Onorato and Miller. Kylie, thanks for doing the show. You're from Oklahoma, but you call yourself a mermaid cowgirl. I get half of that, but explain the other half to me.
I swear in a prior life, I was living on a beach. I had to have been. I grew up in a landlocked state, and the first time I ever visited the beach, I was like, I should have been born here. So Little Mermaid was my favorite movie all growing up, and I definitely thrive at most at the ocean.
I love that. Okay. You've been on tour with some cool people. I saw Brett Young, Old Dominion. Now you'll do a show with Rodney Atkins. Was there ever give me, I guess, maybe the pinch me moment when you met somebody in Nashville that you thought, okay, I am somewhere now?
Actually, funny you say that. I met, so I opened for Tim McGraw at the Boots and Hearts Festival in Canada last year. And I didn't get to meet him, but he was so sweet enough to like make sure that the 3 artists that opened for him like had a whole section on the stage to like watch the show and do the whole thing. A lot of artists do not do that. So I think it was 2 days ago, I went and saw him at the rodeo here in Nashville, and I got to meet him for the first time. And I pretty much was like, "Hi, my name's Kylie. I opened for you." And then I just like kept word vomiting, and I was like, "This is the first time I've ever been like actually genuinely nervous to meet somebody." And he was so sweet and so nice, but I was like, "Man, who let me back here? This is insane."
Most interesting place you've played a show? Concert in the Catskills will be interesting. What's a unique venue you've been in?
Gosh, we have played the craziest places. So fun fact about me, I used to play prisons, like female Johnny Cash vibes, since I was like 16 years old. I was partnering with different correctional facilities, and I would come in and put on a show. And I feel like that would probably be the strangest place, especially for a young female to play.
All right, I'm going to try to connect some dots here, but you correct me where I go wrong.
Okay.
I know so much of what you've done in this music space is to bring awareness to mental health, and May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I know that was part of your come up. Is that part of playing in prisons?
I feel like that, I've learned a lot throughout my career and just my life in general, but I think that people forget how much you can learn from that side of things, where, most young female artists wouldn't step foot in something like that. But I feel like every time I played a correctional facility or, a juvenile detention center or something like that, I would learn so much from them. And they were just so thankful for me to be there that it was always just an experience that you could never replace in any other venue, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it absolutely does. I could see why it would make sense if you were nervous in that type of situation. Were you? And when's the last time you ever really felt nervous performing?
Well, I brought my papaw with me all growing up to all of these facilities. So I was never nervous because, papaw's got me. So never worried about that. I think the last time I was like nervous, was actually, I think 2 weeks ago. I always get nervous when I play the Grand Ole Opry. It's because it's the most iconic venue in country music. So no matter what, I will always forever get nervous. But it was actually on Mother's Day weekend, and I played this song called Scratching the Surface that I wrote for my mom. And I didn't even know I was going to do this until the second verse, but I ended up bringing her out on stage in the circle while I sang the song. And it was like the first time that it was very hard to keep my composure and finish the song. So that was probably the last time.
Saturday, June 14th, coming up quick here. Kylie Morgan, Rodney Atkins, concert in the Catskills. What did you learn about not listening to somebody tell you no, and that being the end of the conversation in terms of your career and where you can go when you realize the success you had with independent with you?
So I always saw this, and this is all thanks to my mom. She taught me that it was always a matter of when and not if. And you have to have the thickest skin imaginable to be in the music industry. I will just say that alone. But, there's so many people that, they say this happened to me. And when I changed my perspective of this happened to me to this happened for me, and taking what you learn from that experience to help you grow in the other aspects of your life, I think that's what continued to make me realize that, when I first started songwriting, I thought it was just therapy for me. It was also cheaper than therapy. But once I started sharing my songs, and the more vulnerable and real that I started to become, and the less scared I was to be vulnerable and real, the more I connected with people and felt less alone. And I think that was the biggest thing that I've learned when it comes to being told no, because that's what you're going to be told in the entire career, of anyone in the music industry. You take it as an opportunity.
What did you expect to happen when you posted that on TikTok?
So it's actually a funny story with Independent with You because I was signed to Universal at the time, and thankfully I got out of that record deal because of this exact reason. They told me that the song was too personal and that no one would relate to it because of how specific it was. So I did the very mature thing as an adult would do and posted it on TikTok anyway. And overnight, over 1 million people saw it and commented, and it was the first time that my fans chose a song for me, if that makes sense. And it was also that moment that I was like, you know what, I not only need to trust my gut and trust what God has a plan for me, but it gave the power back into my hands. And it was more of the situation was I was realizing that I didn't need to listen to everybody else around me to know what I knew was meant for me.
That's awesome. You said you still get nervous when you play the Opry every now and then. I get that. I've seen shows there. It's an incredible space. But you first debuted in 2022 there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you just expect that like that those nerves will never go away?
I secretly hope they don't, to be honest. I think that every time I step in that circle, it's like country music is giving you their stamp of approval, if that makes sense. And to have that, something that you've worked for your entire life, for country music to say, we believe in you and we allow you to stand in this circle and represent country music is truly the most magical thing in the world. And I hope I never stop getting nervous because that means it will kind of be a numbing feeling. And I would rather have all the nerves in the world than feel like it's a normal day.
All right, you said we caught you in the middle of a writing session or a recording session? Writing.
A writing session. Yeah, I'm writing a song today.
How often do you find yourself writing?
Oh gosh. Well, between the 4 a.m, waking up with lyric ideas when I don't choose to write, or when I look at my calendar and have a scheduled write at 11 a.m. on Music Row in Nashville, it never stops for me. It's a blessing and a curse. I always say that I would never wish my brain on anyone because it's a full-time job for sure.
It's the genius behind what works, right? Well, we're going to let you get back to work. We've taken up enough of your time. Kylie, thank you so much. Can't wait to see a concert in the Catskills Saturday, June 14th. Coming up fast, everybody. Thank you, Kylie.
Thank you. It's going to be so much fun. Can't wait to see all you.
Life is about making memories. It's about sharing special moments with those we love and cherishing those moments forever. So whether you're gathering the family around a new patio set or grilling a meal they'll never forget, we can help you design a space that is as beautiful and as special as the memories you create. Visit Alpenhaus on Route 30 in Amsterdam and Clifton Park Center, and let us handle the heavy lifting. Take advantage of free local delivery and we'll haul away your old grill or patio furniture.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on for cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair. You can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Well, Ash, we've promised, I guess we just constantly do the Aaron Judge check. So here it is for everybody who's interested.
Oh, the average is tanking. Oh, no.
Which is down a little bit.
Still first.
The league is catching up to him in RBIs, home runs. Still a unanimous MVP at this point. If there were voting happening now, I can't imagine anybody's going to catch him all that quickly. Enjoy the Belmont weekend, everybody. If you are going, enjoy the weekend in general. If you are not, thanks for watching Onorato and Miller.